guys, welcome back to the channel, and today we are still at Warhammer World and I'm playing Scott with the Necrons. Scott has brought his Blood Angels along. It's going to be nice to play against them, and as you can probably tell, the Decurion has come out to play. It's changed ever so slightly. We've got a lot of bodies indeed. So the mission today is Deadlock. We've got the 6 objectives. Number 1, number 2, number 3 is hiding over in the ruins. We've got number 4 here on the outskirts of the wood, 5 in front of the statue, and number 6 round here. So I've got my Necrons today. Like I said, we've got the Canoptic Harvest on this flank. We've got the Destroyer Cult, Destroyer Lord equipped the same way. His Warlord trait ended up being a Relentless bubble. So yeah, and that was with the reroll. I've added the Judicator Battalion in. All the Praetorians have Rods of the Covenant, and we've just got a standard Stalker there. The Stalker's here just to grant the extra 1 ballistic skill to all the destroyers. We've got the Warsight Lich Guard, 2 units of 10 warriors. We've only got 5 Immortals in the centre, and we've got the Tomb Blades, another unit of Tomb Blades, and we've got the other Praetorians on this flank to potentially move up the table. So Scott's brought the Blood Angels today. Like I said, it's going to be nice playing against them. In the ruins on this flank here, we've got Captain Carleen leading the force with a squad of Tactical Terminators, the Sergeant equipped there with a Power Sword. We've got a Cyclone Missile Launcher there. We've got Calexis Assassin. Calexis, unfortunately, not going to come too much into play against the Necrons, but still, it's an Assassin. Down here, we've got 2 units of 5 Scouts, each with Sniper Rifles and Camo Cloaks. And in the building, we've got a unit of Assault Terminators. 4 of them have Lightning Claws, 1 Thunderhammer. We've got a Knight Errant with the Melter Cannon, looking nice straight across at that horde of Necrons advancing towards them. And then we've got the Aquila Strong Point with the Macro Cannon. This thing is going to be brutal indeed. So yeah, in reserve, we've got the Storm Raven. So, as it currently stands, Necrons have turn 1. Scott, do you wish to seize the initiative?
Captain Carleen seizes in on 5+.
Yep, Captain Carleen on a 5+.
No.
No. So Necrons, turn 1. Right, so cards that we've drawn. We have drawn Slaughter the Living, kill something during my turn. Supremacy, Kingslayer, which is not going to be easy. Secure Objective 5, Ascendancy, and we drew Thrall of the Silent King, and then we drew Code of Combat, which means that the Destroyer Lord has to issue a challenge. Right, so the Necrons are advancing. The Wraith and the Scarabs are pushed forward the full 12 inches, backed up by the Stalker. These Destroyers just hanging back ever so slightly, going to hopefully pop some shots in either the Knight or the Aquila. These Destroyers pushing forward as well. There wasn't too much space for the Praetorians here, so what we've done is we've just held them back for the minute, wait for them Terminators to pop out, and then jump them. I didn't want to get too close because obviously we're going to have a lot of large blast templates coming. Over here, Anakia, the Warriors, the Immortals, and these Warriors, everything just marching forward. Luckily the Warriors can just about see through the front of the ruins, maybe get some lucky shots in on the Terminators there. These Praetorians jumped into the cover, just holding Objective 4 down here, and the Tomb Blades pushing sideways. So it looks as though I am going to be controlling 3 objectives. We'll have to see what happens in the shooting phase though. So in the shooting phase, the Necrons have made their mark, showing exactly what a Destroyer Cult is capable of. Basically, the +1 ballistic skill granted from the Stalker and the Stalker's Melter, combined with all of the gauze coming in. Shot one of the heavy gauze from the Destroyers first, going straight through the Void Shield, and then we managed to get 3 glances on the Aquila. It's been brought down to 2 hull points. Absolute devastation. I think in the assault phase, these guys might make the charge. It's going to be a 12-inch charge, but you never know, we might get there. Down here, the Immortals have ran forward due to being out of range. Meanwhile, firepower coming in from the Necron Warriors and the Tomb Blades brought down one of the Terminators. However, these guys, the Strength 6 blasts, got 11 hits altogether, 11 wounds, and Scott rolled 3 ones, unfortunately. So he lost 2 Terminators and opted to take a wound on Carleen. So yeah, brutal stuff indeed. We've got a couple of run moves and then some jetpack moves to make with those destroyers. Right, so the rest of the shooting phase and the assault phase, the Scarabs have ran forward. We've double checked the rules. There's nothing saying that Swarms can't score, so they're going to get me objective 1. The Wraiths, I debated assaulting the building, but I've elected to run them forward instead in the hopes of trying to block the path of the Knight to get to the Destroyer Lord. So yeah, they've got a better invuln. I know I can't take res against that D-sword, but these guys will be swinging before it, so at least doing some damage, whereas the Destroyer Lord wouldn't go till afterwards. Down here, these destroyers have just shuffled around trying to get all of them within range, because one of them was just out of range previously. And down here, the Warriors and the Immortals pushing forward. So the Necrons are advancing on the Blood Angels fortification. Are they going to fire the cannon? Is the Knight going to come to the rescue? Let's have a look at the points. Right, so for the points, we've got Secure Objective 5, which the Lich Guard and Anarchy hold, and then we've got Supremacy and Ascendancy. We hold 4 objective markers to Scott's 2, so I'll get 2 D3. Oh, wow. So straight away there, 7 points. Right, so Scott has drawn Valor of Angels, issue a challenge. So I think the Collector's probably going to be charging the Destroyer Lord. We've also got no prisoners, kill something. Secure Objective 5 is deep in the Necron deployment zone. Hold the line, shouldn't be too hard at all to get. Decapitate and strike, kill me Warlord. So yeah, I'm guessing he's going for Valor of Angels and Decapitate and strike in 1. Supremacy needs to control twice as many as me, so that one might be difficult, but we'll see what Scott can do. Alright, so I think we've done one of the fastest moving phases. The Knight has pushed forward. We've moved him forward slightly within an inch just because of the rocks behind, wobbly model syndrome. So I think he's coming in to smash potentially some Wraith or Scarabs. Who knows? Over this side, the Colexus has seen the Destroyer Lord and wants a piece of him. So I think he's coming for the Destroyer Lord. Meanwhile, Carleen is furious that his brothers have been brought down, and he's ordered the Cyclone Missile Launcher to take aim at this flank. So we'll have to see what damage is going to be coming in from the Terminators there. Right, so in the shooting phase, the Knight leveled his thermal cannon straight at the ground, and he must have tripped up or something because he scattered way back. Managed to pass one of our reanimations despite the instant death, and only lost a single base. The heavy stubber, meanwhile, hitting the Wraiths shrugging it off, but the Knight is going to be charging. Nasty, nasty stuff indeed. In the sighted phase and shooting phase, the Colexus has took aim with his, don't even know the name of it, pistol, but failed to wound the Destroyer Lord. The Sniper Scouts in the barricades back there took aim at this one Destroyer unit, and unfortunately didn't do any damage despite getting quite a few wounds indeed. Meanwhile, down here, the Terminators and Carleen took aim at the Tomb Blades. We elected not to jink, and despite the Cyclone Missile Launcher getting 2 wounds, we managed to have both our reanimations. So not too shabby at all. However, there was a lot of Necrons scattered about, very bunched up, with 2 large blast D-templates coming in. Let's see what happens. Right, so in assault, the Knight charged in, tried to drive his Reaper Chainsword straight through the Wraith, and only inflicted a single wound. The Wraith not getting any damage in return on the Knight. He then stomped and unfortunately did nothing. The Wraith simply shrugging everything off. So the Colexus Assassin got 1 wound on the Destroyer Lord, rolling that all-important 6 for instant death. However, the Destroyer Lord shrugged it off with his invulnerable, and with the Void Reaper managed to get 3 hits despite hitting on 5s thanks to Master Crafted, and then managed to get 2 wounds, re-rolling the 1 preferred enemy, and managed to get all 3 wounds on the Colexus. Unfortunately, Scott didn't pass a single save, so he was cut down, and the Destroyer Lord is making a beeline for this beastie here. Right, so for points, Scott scores Hold the Line for 2 points, and Valor of Angels, as he issued a challenge with Calexis, he's elected to discard Supremacy. So let's move on to Necrons, turn 2. Right, so Necrons, turn 2, we have drew secure objective 6, which the Spider is on. Age of the Machine, destroy a building or super heavy for a potential of quite a lot of victory points there. It says score an additional 3 if the building had Mighty Bulwark or if we kill a super heavy. So that is going to be worth some points indeed. We drew Slaughter the Living, so completely destroy something. We've still got Kingslayer, which is kill Carleen, and we've got Thrall of the Silent King, which is issue a challenge. So hopefully we can get to the Terminators or something there. So the Necrons are still marching forward. We've bred another base of Scarabs, replacing the one that we lost. The Stalker is moving forward in the hopes of being able to bring down the Aquila, that massive cannon. The Destroyer Lord moving into position to either go for the Aquila or the Knight, depending on how the shooting phase goes. But these destroyers are staying back, ready to take aim up at the Aquila. I don't think I mentioned last time, but we did lose 2 of the destroyers to that nasty large blast, strength D, but he passed his morale, so he's fine. The Lich Guard here, we've got a 10-inch run, or charge rather, to make it to the Knight, but we need to get across there and hopefully cut down with them war scythes. Meanwhile, the Warriors and the Immortals are marching forward in the hopes of being able to gauze the building. Meanwhile, on this flank, the Warriors again just marching forward, continually shooting at Carleen's unit, and the Praetorians have leapt out of the trees to Carleen's surprise. Them AP2 Rod of the Covenant are going to be doing some damage, I think. We've also got the particle beamers of the Tomb Blades there in support as well. So the Rods of the Covenant and the particle beamers on the Tomb Blades proving what they are made of, and Carleen is left alone. His Terminator brothers have been slain by the sheer weight of firepower, the Warriors contributing towards that as well. It's worth noting as well, the Aquila did get its Void Shield back. However, with Gauze Fire from the Immortals, the Tomb Blades, the Warriors, and even the Destroyers here, it was eventually brought down in a blaze of smoke, killing one of the Terminators as they clambered out of the windows, and unfortunately they are pinned. Even damaging the ramparts, and the scouts taking casualties as well. There's 2 scouts remaining. So brutal stuff indeed. The Scarabs are going to be charging in at the Knight. The Destroyer Lord, although he's probably going to have the best opportunity to get the Knight now, we want to challenge the Sergeant here, so we need to cut these Terminators down, get those points. Right, so combats haven't gone amazingly for the Necrons at all. The Wraith swung at initiative 5 and failed to do any damage to the Knight. The Knight then swung his sword, destroying 3 units of Scarabs, and then the Scarabs in turn inflicted 2 hull points back on the Knight. He then stomped all over them indeed, getting 3 stomps, one of them inflicting a wound on the single Wraith here. The Destroyer Lord, unfortunately, rolled a 3 for his charge distance against the Terminators, so they didn't make it there. Down here, the Praetorians went to charge Carleen and stumbled as they were going into the building, again only rolling a 4-inch charge. So let's have a look at the points for the Necrons. Right, so I secure objective 6 with the Spider. I get Age of the Machine for killing the Aquila strong point, so that actually scores me 4 points, as you get an additional 3 if it's got Mighty Bulwark. Slaughter the Living, kill a unit. I've killed all the Terminators. Kingslayer, I haven't killed him yet. And Thrall of the Silent King, issue a challenge, but unfortunately I didn't get it then as I failed the charge. So I'm going to keep hold of those 2 cards, but that scores me another 4, 5, 6 points. Right, so Scott has drew secure objective 1, decapitate and strike, secure 5, no prisoners, and swift advance. Swift advance, I've nominated objective number 4 and 5, which is deep in the Necron deployment zone. So we have done the entire turn, very quick indeed. The las cannon on the top of this, Storm Raven, shooting the destroyer in the trees there, inflicting a single wound. Meanwhile, the multi-melter and 2 missiles going for the Stalker, and the multi-melter rolling a 3 for armor penetration, so the Stalker is unshaken. Meanwhile, the Destroyer Lord took fire from the scouts, and 1 rend actually went through and caused a wound on him. In combat, we did no damage at all, and the D-Sword went for the Wraiths. No damage done, only a D3 wounds being allocated there, and the Wraith passing their in run. Meanwhile, down here, Carleen took aim with his Storm Bolter and ready to charge. And there must be something in this terrain, because even he stumbled, rolling a double 1. So let's have a look at Scott's points. Right, so we've drew secure objective 6, Scout the Skies, we've still got Kingslayer, and we've got Thrall and the Silent King still as well. On this flank over here, the Praetorians took in with the rods and managed to wound Carleen, and it was the mass firepower from the warriors that brought him down, scoring us Slay the Warlord and Kingslayer. Meanwhile, in the ramparts here, mass firepower from the Tomb Blades, the Immortals, and even the warriors at the back here managed to bring most of the scouts down. There was 1 left on this squad who he's ran, fearing for his life as the Necrons march forward. This one, however, holding position, determined to stay till the end. Meanwhile, Scott lost 2 Terminators to firepower coming across from the destroyers, and the heat ray from the Stalker there as well. So, unfortunately, we did lose the Sergeant over there, so the Destroyer Lord isn't going to be able to issue a challenge there. However, I'm thinking about charging him in here, along with the War Scythe Lich Guard, and bring this knight crashing to his knees. Right, so devastation has been had indeed. The knight was tore down in combination from the Lich Guard, the Spider smashing, the Wraith and the Scarabs doing a lot of damage. Ultimately though, it was the War Scythes from the Lich Guard and Anakia that managed to bring the knight down. It exploded and scattered backwards onto the Destroyer Lord, causing a wound on him, and in turn, before he even got to swing, the Terminator there with the lightning claws cut him down, not able to make a save for his life. So we are going to call the game at an end there. Yeah, Scott doesn't have much left at all, and I think the formations, combining them, such as the destroyers here having ballistic skill 5, absolutely brutal. And I think the whole roll 6s to auto glance a vehicle and the building was just absolutely brutal stuff indeed. So a very big thank you to Scott for bringing the Blood Angels along today, and especially the Aquila. Unfortunately, it only got to shoot the once. But yeah, today's game's been filmed at Warhammer World, so please check out the rest of the channel, and please leave your comments below. Thanks very much.